Hey everybody, Dominic back with another video, and today I am super excited to walk through the three biggest problems that all Shopify store owners need to solve before scaling to that next level. These are three foundational concepts that I'm going to deliver some actionable insights in how to fix and understand so that you can take your Shopify store to the next level. Now, if you're not familiar with me, my name is Dominic Mayu, and I run an e-commerce agency that helps Shopify store owners scale to millions of dollars a month of profitable Shopify revenue. And solving these three problems are really all we do. This is exactly what we do, and I'm going to teach you the basics around them. So without really any further ado, I suppose, let me make my face a little bit smaller so you can see the actual presentation and start walking through this together. Okay, so the first problem that we are going to want to solve is optimizing your conversion rate. Now, this is going to be the most important problem of them all. They're all extremely important, so I hate kind of saying this is the most important. But at the end of the day, this is what's going to have the biggest impact on your bottom line and your profitability, allowing you to spend more to get more traffic in and generate more revenue and more profit. So let me kind of show you why this is so powerful. Let me move my face again. So let's just go through two quick examples on how optimizing your conversion rates, can make such a big impact. So let's pretend we own a Shopify store and these are our metrics, right? We're sending about 1,000 daily sessions. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be perfect. This is just for an example. We're converting at 1.5%, which is actually the average Shopify conversion rate, 1.5%. Okay, so with 1,000 daily sessions, 1.5% conversion rate, that's going to be 15 a month. Let's say we have about $100 AOV. Average order value, that means we are going to be doing about $1,500 a day in revenue, okay? But that doesn't mean that's $1,500 in our pockets, right? So we have costs. So let's say, again, just for easy numbers, it costs us $1,000 in ad spend to send that 1,000, solid daily sessions. Say we have a good target, market that we're targeting, and between Google and Facebook, it's costing us about $1,000 to send 1,000 sessions. Now, on top of that, we also have cost of goods, right? So let's say, on average, it's about $20 cost of goods for every order. So with that, we have 1,500 in revenue minus 1,300 in costs, right? Because we have 1,000 here, and then at 15 times 20 is 300. So 15 in revenue minus 1,300 in costs equals $200 a day in profit. That's okay, right? But that's, I don't think anybody's getting super excited about that. So now let's look at what happens if we can just double the conversion rate to 3%, which is more than possible. We'll get our clients up to 5, 6, even 7% conversion rate. So a 3% is more than achievable for most brands, outside of maybe if you're selling a super high ticket item or a super niche item, things like that. But let's say the sessions remain the exact same, but we double the conversion rate up to 30 purchases a day. At $100 AOV, that's now $3,000 in revenue. And here's really where it gets magical, right? The costs remain the same, right? So we have $1,000 in ad spend to send these 1,000 people. It's the same ad spend. And we have a $20 cost of goods. Now, obviously, this doubles because we're doing 30 purchases instead of 15. So that's going to be $600. So let me exit this view so I can actually edit it with you guys, right? So that's going to be $600. Now, that means our profit shoots up. We have 3,000 in revenue, 1,600 in cost, right? 1,000 and 600. Our profit is now $1,400 a day. That's the power of conversion rate. That is literally insane, right? We just doubled the conversion rate. All we did is double the conversion rate, but because it's so exponential, it doesn't double our profit. It 7x'd our profit by doubling our conversion rate in this scenario. So conversion rate is again, the biggest lever that you can make. Even just adding 10, 20, 30% lift to your conversion rate is going to make a crazy impact on your bottom line. And the reason for that is because you're not spending more money to get more sessions and more purchases. You're leveraging what you already have to convert more of them, right? So that's kind of the power. So first things first, in order to optimize your conversion rate and fix this problem, you have to understand your conversion rate. Like, well, what does it mean? Now, in Shopify, it's going to look something like this, your basic funnel, right? You're going to have sessions. you're going to have add to cart, you're going to have a proceed to checkout, and you're going to have a purchase percentage. Okay, so sessions, this is the total amount of people that are visiting your website. Add to cart, this is how many people actually added the product to cart. Proceed to checkout, this is how many people see the checkout. And purchase, that's how many people obviously purchase from you. So these indicate key areas of improvement, right? So when we're looking at our funnel, we need to know where to start. So we need to look at where's our biggest drop off, where's the most room for improvement. Now, if your add to cart percentage is low, that means you need to start working on your homepage and product pages. If your proceed to checkout is low, that means you need to put some effort into your cart. And if your purchase is low, that means you need to put some effort into your checkout. Now, let's look at some screenshots I took from some of my existing clients. Now, this is literally just a screenshot from my website, so ignore these top two. But let's kind of break these down and figure out where these people can focus. Now, I will say these are all case studies that have done phenomenally well with a lot of my partner accounts. So these are pretty significant numbers, but ignore that. The concepts stay the same, right? So if we have a 14% add to cart, that's phenomenal, right? Now, obviously, it's going to depend on your brand, but if you can get into the double digits of add to cart, you're going to be looking rock solid. You're going to be looking really, really, really good, right? So now, obviously, 14 to 13, that's a very small drop off, but 13 to 9 is actually, that's not a bad drop off, to be honest, but it's a bigger drop off, right? So where we'd want to focus here is our checkout and getting this number up, right? Because if we can get this number up to 11%, you can imagine the impact that makes. Same here, right? We have a 9% add to cart to about a 6% reach checkout, which again is pretty solid. But we can probably put a little bit of effort into that cart. And then same thing here, we can probably put a little bit of effort into the checkout, and we can try to put some more effort into the product pages and site-wide implementations to bump this up to 10%, right? If we keep moving here, 8 to 8, so the cart's working great, right? Checkout can use some focus. 15, 13, 10, that's a really good funnel. So just as a rule of thumb, and typically what I kind of use as a structure is a 50% drop-off max per step, right? So if you have a larger than a 50% drop off, you need to start working on that step. So like I said, these are all, kind of, I don't want to say anomalies because I do get these results a lot for the partners that I work with. But not many brands are going to look like this. So for example, let's take this middle one. So they have about a 9% add to cart. So a 50% drop off would mean a 4.5% reach checkout. So if this was below 4.5%, we have a problem on the cart, right? And then if this was at 4.5%, but this was less than, it would be 2.25. So let's just say if this was less than like 2% or less, then we have a massive issue with the checkout. So the first step is really just understanding, where you need to work on. And this is always changing, right? Let's say you work on your checkout for 3 months and get those numbers up. And then you go and move to the cart, right? Because maybe that's the next step, or the add to cart rate. And they're all going to impact each other. They definitely are. So what you do on your product pages is going to impact the overall conversion rate. Absolutely. So if you're not sure where to start, I always recommend starting on your product pages. Those are going to be your money makers, right? So put effort and start with your product pages if you're not really sure. And then how do we actually know, what to change? Sorry, I'm moving my face kind of all over the place here. This is as small as I can make it. All right, we'll just start here. So you want to actually use data to optimize your conversion rate. I think that's extremely apparent, but not that many people know where to start or how to actually gather that data. So here's 4 super easy implementations to make and data to gather to start optimizing that conversion rate. So heat maps and session recordings, those are both extremely valuable and free if you use Microsoft Clarity. Okay, so it's called Microsoft Clarity. It's free to install. It's an incredible platform that's going to give you incredible analytics. It's going to give you heat maps to see where your customers are clicking, where they're scrolling. It's going to give you session recordings so you can actually find and watch patterns as people scroll through your website, add things to cart, right? You can pay attention to patterns on what pages and what kind of navigation people who are purchasing are taking and try to implement that for the rest of the site. With heat maps, you can see what are your top clicked elements, right? Maybe you notice your thumbnails are the top clicked element on the page and your thumbnails suck, right? So you can put effort into thumbnails. And then obviously analytics is key, right? What typically I like to do is find your kind of anomaly points in analytics. Look at your underperforming segments and your overperforming segments and use that data to implement it, right? So look at your underperforming browsers, segments, channels, and then look at your overperforming browser segments channels and find the differences between the two so you can apply what's working on the underperforming stuff. And then last is going to be customer surveys. This is absolutely key as well. If you can just literally ask your customers questions about your products, about your website, about the journey, the UX, UI, they're going to deliver you the best possible insights that you can possibly ask for. So ask your customers these questions. And then here are a few kind of easier things to implement as well. Again, if you're not sure where to start. So first things first is over 90% of all traffic is now mobile. So make sure you're optimizing for mobile. Okay. Half the time, or I would say about 90% of the time, I don't even look at my partner's websites on desktop. Obviously, you want to make sure it looks fine, but I'm always in mobile mode. I'm always looking at everything on mobile. That's where the money's made. Navigation, this is extremely important. You need to make sure your navigation is clear. Do you have CTAs throughout your entire journey? Is your mobile nav clear? Is your main nav clear? Are the necessary buttons throughout the funnel active? Make sure your loading speed is at least relatively fast, right? Ideally, it's less than 3 seconds. That's kind of where we start to see a drop off is loading times over 3 seconds. Images are absolutely vital in today's day. In today's e-commerce, you need to have good images from various angles that are professionally done. Make sure they're not super blurry. Don't use stock images. They don't work anymore. Put some serious time and focus into your images. I'll probably end up making some more videos in the future talking about what types of images I like to use and where. But yeah, just put some effort there. And then same with your copy, right? So images and copy are going to do 80% of the selling. So make sure that they're both well done. Make sure they're easy to read, easy to understand. If you're not sure, literally send it to your kids, send it to your wife, send it to your grandma, show it to your mom, your dad, and ask them what questions they have after going through the page, and then update those questions. And then lastly is just A/B testing. So if you're not familiar with A/B testing, all it is basically creating a test of two different versions of a certain page on your website. So for example, this is a test I would not run, but you can do it if you want. Product page A has a orange add to cart button. Product page B has a blue add to cart button, right? And then you split the traffic down the middle to these two variations to actually see which convert better. So this is kind of my bread and butter. This is one of the biggest things my agency does for all my partners because it's extremely actionable and data driven. So if you're not split testing and you have at least 100 transactions a month, I would look into starting to split test. I will leave my affiliate link for Convert in the description. Convert.com is what I use personally for all of my split tests. It's the most affordable one on the market, and in my opinion, it is still one of the most robust. Problem number 2 is going to be fixing your AOV. Okay, so conversion rate obviously is going to bring in more purchases. Average order value is going to be what maximizes on those purchases. So fixing this is extremely important. So analyzing your AOV is a little bit easier than analyzing your conversion rate funnel, right? Because the Shopify metric dashboard literally shows you what your AOV is. So say, if you have $100 current AOV, you have 1,000 orders, you say a year or a day, whatever. That's going to be $100,000. Now, what if you can bump that up by 15 to 20% through some proven methods, right? Say 20%, that moves to 120. You now have 1,200 orders for $120,000, right? So it makes a massive impact to optimize the AOV. So how do we do that? There's a few ways. I've had plenty of videos talking about all of these. So if you want to dive more into how I do upselling, cross-selling, bundling, pre-purchase upsells, post-purchase upsells, scroll down on my channel. There's going to be a ton of videos to watch there. So yeah, really all it is exactly what I just said. It's upselling, it's cross-selling, it's bundling. So upsell products throughout the journey, right? Use post-purchase upsells, use one-click upsell. To add post-purchase upsells, add effective cross-selling, right? So add related products to your product page with an easy add to cart button that goes with your main product, right? So for a partner of mine that sells heated apparel, adding an additional battery to their order is a no-brainer. So we added just a little upsell box that gets almost a 30% take rate, which is absolutely phenomenal. So add upsells, add cross-sells through your journey. There are a few different platforms you can use for this that kind of use AI to help you generate. Rebuy is a solid one, and OCU, one-click upsell, is a solid one for post-purchase. And then bundling. This is another really good one. If you have a kind of lower ticket, if you have a lower ticket product, then you can bundle them together in a few different ways. So you can bundle numerous of the same product, right? So say if you sell a magnesium supplement that's only $10, sell a 90-day supply, bundling all three together to increase that AOV. You can also bundle different products together, right? You can bundle your magnesium and your vitamin D together because maybe they benefit each other in some way. So just add more products and add bundles that basically shoot that AOV up a little bit for you. And then problem number 3, and this is extremely important as well, is going to be your customer lifetime value, or how much a customer spends with you over the course of their lifetime, right? Ignore this stock image that the presentation put in here. But in order to calculate your current lifetime value, you can download, cohort reports. So Shopify is going to have a cohort report dashboard. It's not the best and it's not the most intuitive. So there are some platforms that I would look into. I think Lifetimely is a good one. Or you can, take a screenshot of this. I'm not going to go through this in this video just because I don't think it's worth spending time breaking down this algorithm. But you can also do this. So just screenshot that to figure out your LTV here. Now, obviously, improving your customer retention is going to be vital because it's going to get them to come back without you having to spend more money, right? So in the beginning of the video, we did the $1,000 ad spend example. That's just to acquire that first-time customer, right? So if you have a good retention rate, you're likely not going to be spending any money to get that customer to come back, or it's going to be a much smaller amount of money than it is going to be that first-time customer. So a lot of companies I work with, and you'd be shocked, even a lot of the biggest e-commerce brands in the world will actually lose money on that first purchase, right? They'll lose money on that acquisition cost to get a new customer, and they rely 100% on their customer retention to actually bring in profits. So this is extremely, extremely important. And there's a lot of different ways to do this, right? So emails is obviously going to be one of the biggest piece. Making sure you have a solid email list, a solid email team to blast, that list with. Loyalty programs can do a really, really good job. Obviously, just delivering a good service, right? So delivering a good product that people like and offering great support for when the time for good support, arises. And then just community building, right? Building a community, building a brand that people actually want to support is going to be big. Now, with loyalty programs, they are super easy to implement. I recommend implementing Smile. That's what I use for most of my brands. It takes, a couple of hours to set up a basic loyalty program. So it's super easy. And basically all that does is rewards customers by points when they purchase from you. So for example, they spend $100, they get 100 points, and you could say, each point is worth, it can be, 10 cents or something. So on their next order, they can use those 100 points for $10 off. And then again, ignore these crap post-purchase or these crap stock images, but yeah, again, just provide a good service, right? Use a good product. Don't sell a shit product. Do good shipping, right? Don't take 4 weeks to deliver your product because it's obviously coming from Alibaba or something. So sorry, drop shippers on that one, but yeah, you got to ship a little faster. Support, emails, reviews, post-purchase follow-up, it's all extremely important and pretty self-explanatory here. So this video ran a little bit long, so I am kind of wrapping this up. But yeah, I hope this helped. I think if you can solve these 3 pillars before you scale, it is going to make your life infinitely easier. Now, if you want some help on implementing some of these, I'm actually just launching a course that teaches you how to leverage AI to solve these problems. So basically, this course is going to teach you how to train a custom GPT bot on the art of revenue optimization, which is what my agency does, which includes conversion rate optimization, average order value optimization, and customer lifetime value optimization. And then take that bot, import your brand's data. I teach you how to export all your brand's data, all the relevant data you need, import it into the bot so you can use this bot to replace your existing agencies. You can use this bot to optimize your website. You can use this bot to write ads for you, to write emails for you. This bot can act as a C-level advisor, as a business coach. This bot can genuinely do it all. So if you are interested in that, I am launching that. There's going to be a link below. It's only a one-time fee of $97. It will likely be moving up to $147 here in the next couple of weeks. but I highly recommend that for anybody in this space. It's a no-brainer. It's a great course. You don't need any tech or AI experience to go through it. It takes, I think it's 90 minutes, 2 hours of videos, and by the end of the course, you'll literally have the bot done. So it's extremely powerful. I highly recommend that. Now, if you are an e-commerce brand that's doing at least $10,000 a month in e-commerce revenue, and you're not drop shipping your product, and you're interested in us actually working together, there's going to be a link below for you to schedule a call with us and talk to see if there is any opportunity for us to work together. But in the meantime, I hope this video helped. Definitely leverage that course to optimize these three problems and solve these three problems. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.